Hey everyone, welcome back this laboratory of future creators where we dissect ideas, talk about systems and especially the future systems. So now in this video, I want to have this conversation towards how to learn a language. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my observation and my journey and especially we will understand a learning process of a language with my own principle. Let's do that. So before understanding that part of learning a language, let's try to understand and we will go deep dive that what is the learning, like what is the learning part of for your mind, what actually is learning. For me, for what I observe that learning anything or especially a language, that you have to make your mind to work on extreme. So what I mean by extreme, that you need this because it's very important. So I think for me, I used to learn things with the alignment of my mind, because how my mind function, I try to learn things in that way. So yeah, definitely this learning process is nothing but you have to make sure your mind to work at a constant extreme. So how can you get extreme? So you can, so this is the very important part of learning a language, that how can someone get extreme. So it's something like you want to learn any language. So now let me tell you my little experience. So it's been like 2 years when I started learning English, and right now I'm able to like speak fluently, and but so that's my journey. I just learned one of language is just in 2 years. I'm here, like it's approx 2.5 years going to happen. So now let me summarize. So learning is nothing but that you have to make sure your mind is working in the constant extreme. Now let's talk about respective of like language. You want to learn any language, so we as you dissect that the extreme, you need the extreme. Okay, so now how to learn a language. So what is a language? What people consider that language is not a words that are going to happen, that's going to speak. It's like, for me it's more than that. If you want to learn any language, the very first thing is that you must eager to learn the culture, because each and every language has their own culture. Is very important. And most importantly for me, that learning a language, gaining a new perspective of just looking the world, just in whatever, like in daily life, in your surroundings, you have a new perspective. So for example, if I'm learning right now and these days I'm learning Sanskrit. So the reason behind is something because I have reason. I'm very eager to know. What I know, that is Sanskrit. If you want to understand the point of view of psychology, because what is Sanskrit? So whatever we have, like I'm from this culture, so I understand that whatever, like Indian scriptures or whatever, that the old texts, ancient whatever wisdom we have, we just look at the world at like internal perspective, like experiential, just we have the experiential way of sort of eye and point of view. But if you go the Western culture or like other culture, other languages, they just look at the world at a like logical or more rational level. So that is psychological perspective. I think it's very important to understand the what's actually the ancient wisdom we have. And yeah, I learned language for the understand the rational part of the world. So that's the language. So what I wanted to tell you, that if you want to learn any language, the very important thing that you must be eager to learn the culture associated with the language. It's very important, because it's a culture as well as the point of view look at the world. That's very important. And now the practical things that you're going to do in order to learn any language, that's I would suggest, and I would say that I experienced this thing. That is, I used to when I started learning and the English and Sanskrit as well, I started to listen first. But yeah, it's very important that you understand the basics, how to like sounds the alphabets and all. That's very important. You have the knowledge, but it's not the process to do first thing, that listening, then either reading, either writing, either understanding grammar or all. It's this thing of doing all together. Say So when I started learning Sanskrit recently, yeah, I'm from there. I know that the same thing there. So yeah, let's start the English. I started English at the time. So the first thing that, yeah, understanding grammar is very important, and as well as it's not a, like if you understand the 40% 50% grammar, yeah, you're good to go in the language. And the second thing you have to do with while learning or during learning grammar and all and rules, that listening and speaking, this is one of the very important, like I would say, the aspect, the point of view, that okay, you are learning a language, you know the rules and you know how to just pronunciate the words, sort of alphabet and these words. Now the very like it's going to be very important thing that you have to listen a lot. Why? Because as much as input you have, that as much as you want to able to just output in this particular language. So I would say understand the grammar, the first thing. The second thing is that along with you have to constantly listening and speaking as well. So yeah, as we discussed, the very important thing that you have the reason, you have the why, that why do you want to learn a language. So in my observation, in my principles, the very first thing is that work align, just do the thing that the process of you're going to follow in learning anything, especially language, that align with your mind, like how your mind functions. That's very important. So I would say you want to learn any language, make sure that you have that extreme. So extreme means that the constant interest, the okay, you want to learn any like French, Spanish, or like German. That the first thing is that you have the constant extreme. For constant extreme, that you are very like curious, very important. The curiosity is one of the like core factor of human being a human. So you have the curiosity that okay, I'm going to learn this language, what sort of culture associated with the language, what are the interesting about this language. So along with you are learning a language, like side by side, you must have that sort of like like the sort of desire to learn the sort of culture. So this is sort of being extreme in order to learning a language. And I would say grammar is important. Then listening and speaking, one of the very important aspect of learning any language. If you want to get another thing, that you want to get fluency, is just all about learn just as much as you will listen, you want to speak as much. So that's very important. So yeah, this is all about it's my own observation, or it's my own journey that I'm, and recently it's one of my hobby to learn different languages. So and right now I'm learning Sanskrit and one of the other foreign language, that is going to French, and I'm learning those languages whenever I had time. So most of the time I listen. I used to listen most of the, like Sanskrit is something that I have experience. I'm from Hindi background, and so I understand the like basic things of the basic like the same Devanagari lipi is there. So yeah, it's very, for me it's very like good to go and good to learn Sanskrit. Now so in order to learning French, I started with understanding sort of some rules. Then I started to very basic videos on YouTube, like a short story or whatever. And the one like another important thing is that conscious listening. It's not something you just you are listening things and you're doing work. I don't think so. It's not going to work. But if you have some kind of fluency, you're gonna do, and that after some time, you are in the language, and you have sort of experience that yeah, it's good to go. But you as at a just beginning, you need to understand sort of some sort of rules. Then just along with listening is one of the like major factor learning a language. And yeah, then speak. So understanding rules and the listening as much as you can, and yeah, and try to speak. That is just the very simple and very effective way of learning any language. And yeah, understand the part of example I gave you, what is learning. So learning is actually make sure your mind is working on extreme, in order to learn anything, but especially language, you have sort of curiosity to learn what sort of culture associated with the particular language. And that's what I do, that's my observation, that's my journey. And yeah, and I think I learn, and I have good fluency in English, and I'm learning another language. And yeah, so this is sort of conversation we have had. So whatever language you are learning, you must be very curious, is the core essence. So bye bye.